Vivek Ramaswamy sees growing crowd in Iowa after Republican debate show title hide title RNC. Debate Vivek Ramaswamy, Mike Pence. Debate between outsider experience Vivek Ramaswamy and former Vice President Mike Pence argued. Between outsider experience in the first Republican presidential debate. 2 days after he first came to fore during the Republican presidential debate. Vivek Ramaswamy saw Iowans flocking to campaign stops in central Iowa ahead of January 15 caucuses. According to NBC News, Ramaswamy, an Ohio biotech entrepreneur and a shameless supporter of former President Donald Trump, found himself the focus of 16 attacks. More than any other candidate during the presidential debate in Milwaukee last week. Interest Ramaswamy, who described himself as a skinny man with a funny last name debate, and who was the middle of list of presidential candidates a recent Iowa poll, has grown. Only 4 of those attending Republican conventions rated him as their first choice, placing him in 7th place in the nation's first meeting state. But on Friday morning, crowds from Iowa filled Ramaswamy's appearance. Iowa State Senate President Jake Chapman, Ramaswamy's co-chairman of Iowa, said last Friday morning they plan to have 75 to 100 people attend the event at the Fireside Bistro in Indianola, Iowa. He estimated that 300 people came instead. The turnout was so great that the campaign ordered more food to the participants. Chapman said this is a clear sign of growing interest in Ramaswamy after the debate. I think what everybody saw was that you won against 7 against 1 and he was the winner. Chapman said. The reason I think H is on fire is because H is not talking about fighting Joe Biden or talking about policy differences. He leads with a vision of what America is. Sara Woodcock went to Ramaswamy's Pella, Iowa event during her husband's lunch break that morning. David Woodcock said they watched the debate and learned about him for the first time. David Woodcock had supported Trump but said he was over now. Sara Woodcock still considers Trump her first choice, but after his debate performance got high marks from media pundits and many Republicans. Both were curious to learn more about Ramaswamy. It really stood out in the debate, said David Woodcock. I thought it was probably him and Nikki Haley that stood out the most. DeSantis was fine. I didn't know who this guy was until the discussion, said Sara Woodcock. After seeing Ramaswamy's speech on Wednesday, David Woodcock said he would consider voting for Ramaswamy. I like what it represents, he said. Sara Woodcock said Ramaswamy's youth is an asset. The 38-year-old introduces herself as the first millennial to run for the presidency of the United States as Republicans. She says, Ramaswamy's youth is one reason voters voted for him. The fact that it can reach millennials that no one else can, said Sara Woodcock. There are still a lot of people in the race that I like. But IW